my friend from the UFC, my friend from film, a man who's an extremely gifted comedian, actor, and entertainer. We have Nick Swardson. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Nick. And his partner in crime, Simon Rex. You all know Simon from the Scary Movie and many other things, but now you're going to know Simon and Nick better than ever because we're going to talk about their new show on Comedy Central, Typical Rick. Hey, guys, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Bruce, love you, dude.
Love you too, brother. Thanks really for coming on. But the big news here is your show on Comedy Central, Typical Rick. I'm so happy to hear you made this foray again into TV, but this is going to be more of a star vehicle for you. How's it going? How's everything happening? Tell us about the show.
Show's amazing. I created it. I was drunk at a movie theater. And me and our director, Nick Goosen, who directed Grandma's Boy, I just thought of this idea for me and Simon, because I love Simon. He's one of my best friends, and he's super talented. So it essentially just came, I was like, wanted to think of a show that was like simple and not too complicated. So it's basically two guys from Iowa that moved to Hollywood. And I play a guy that wants to be a dramatic actor like the next Daniel Day-Lewis. And I take myself very seriously. And then Simon's character, Rick, tags along and is a fucking train wreck. And so he's like loose cannon, but like everybody gravitates towards him. So he gets all the attention when I'm like busting my ass to like audition and do shit. So it's like an Odd Couple meets Entourage, essentially.
Yeah. It sounds kind of like Lethal Weapon meets Entourage.
It is a little Lethal Weapon.
I'm Danny Glover. I remember Nick hits me up and he says, we were comparing stories about our friends from back home. He's from Minnesota, I'm from the Bay Area. And whenever our friends come into town in LA, there's always that one dude who fucks everything up. And we were sharing horror stories about our friends that have come, and he's like, that's a great idea for a show.
Yeah.
The plus one from hell.
Yeah, the plus one from hell is basically how it started. Just the guy that just comes in like a wrecking ball, like Simon's character, like is just doing blow and just like going to just parties and being insane. So...
Did you have to do a lot of research for this role, Simon?
A lifetime of real research led to...
We did coke for 40 years to prepare for this part.
I thought I was going to say 40 hours to write the script. But anyway, you know, with the show like this, I got to assume that you're going to have, you know, guest appearances and stuff like that on. So in the first season, who did you have on the show?
This first season, we had Chris D'Elia, who was amazing. He was awesome. And then we didn't have a lot of cameos in the first season, but the second season, it's pretty stacked. We have great people. I don't know if I want to spoil it, but...
No, don't spoil it. Make us watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But check it out. It's streaming on Comedy Central, and you can also watch it on YouTube, on the Comedy Central's YouTube page.
I've got a big poker tournament to play at the World Poker Tour, and there's a lot of downtime sometimes at the table, so I'm going to be on my iPhone too.
Yeah, check it out.
I'll be laughing at the table, and they're wondering what the hell I'm laughing at.
While you're making millions.
I'm going to try.
You know what I did one time? You're talking about poker. This is one of the only times. I'm not a big poker guy, but I was at, I think it was Commerce. And I went and I was playing poker. And it was like, late night. It was shit-faced. And I got a 2 and an 8. I was big blind. And I got a 2 and 8 offsuit. And I didn't, nobody else challenged me, so I just, I paid the, whatever. I was big blind. And so, I got to see the flop, and it was a 2 and an 8, and then like a jack.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy fuck. So I just nailed 2 pair, and I ended up winning the hand. This guy went back and forth with me, and he had 2 jacks, and I had 2 pair. And I remember I stood up on the table. I've never done this ever. And he just goes, yeah, I got 2 jacks, motherfucker. And I just went, boom, and I threw down my 2 and my 8. And this guy wanted to fucking kill me. And I took this big pot, and then I had to literally, my buddy grabbed me and was like, we gotta go. This guy's gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah, it gets intense, man. That's the vibe at the table. I'm not really into gambling, but it's fucking gnarly. I didn't know the rules too. I had that happen once where I hit when I wasn't supposed to hit. I guess there's just simple etiquette at the poker table, and I fucked the whole rest of the round up for everybody, and I was about to get my ass beat.
Dude, the worst was
it's crazy.
Fucking blackjack. I was just doing shows in Fort Lauderdale, and I was staying at the Hard Rock, and me and my buddy who opened for me, we were playing blackjack, and he was he would have 14 and, you should stay, and he would hit. And the table, he was losing everybody money. People were freaking out.
What seat at the blackjack table was sitting? Was it like out of the 5 or 6 seats? Was he first base or third base at the end? Was he in the middle?
He was first base.
Yeah, that's going to screw it up for everybody. Plus,
Screwed it up for everybody.
Yeah.
People wanted to fucking kill this guy. I was screaming at him. I'm like, what are you doing? He would have fucking 16 and take a hit.
But it's okay to hit 14 into a 10, not into a 4, 5, or 6, which are the dealer's bus cards.
Yeah, no, when the dealer would have like a 6, my buddy would have it was just a fucking disaster.
You mix alcohol and money, it gets a little aggressive.
Well, it depends how much alcohol and how much money you're playing with.
Totally.
And you just have to know etiquette. You know what I mean?
I don't know
gambling and shit like that. You can't just be loose cannon and go fucking rogue one.
That's when you got to take the Velcro on your ass, separate it from the seat, get up, and walk away.
Yeah.
Got to find another table to put your chips down. Speaking of gambling, I'm going to Commerce today, the place that you played at for the World Poker Tour. But in our background, I was mentioning earlier, there's a 6 degrees of separation because in all the things you've done, from Reno 911, I remember I went to the premiere of Benchwarmers. You were in the movie and worked with my brother Michael Buffer on You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Yeah.
And how many Adam Sandler movies have you done?
706.
Fucking God. I would say, with Happy Madison, I'd say 15 maybe.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I like so many things about Adam. He's such a good guy. I remember after the movie, my brother ran into him at a restaurant called Papone's here in L.A., and he said hi, and then an hour and a half later, he left, and Michael left, and he asked for the check, and they said, no, Adam took care of it.
Adam's
he's
the
that kind of
best.
guy.
No, he's a good dude.
He's amazing. He'll do shit where it's like, he'll call me up like, what are you doing for the Super Bowl? I'm like, nothing. He goes, I got a plane. Let's go to Vegas. I'm like, okay. I'm like, who's going? He's like, there's like 25 of us. So he would just fucking bring like 25 people to Vegas and fucking pay for everything. Pay for all of our rooms. Pay for every meal. He's a great guy. Just super generous and like really fun. And we have a tour coming up. Me, Sandler, Spade, and Schneider that starts in April. So we'll be doing a bunch of dates. You can look at my Instagram at Real Nick Swardson, and all the dates are posted.
Tell me how much fun that's going to be with that crew of 4. That's just like I could just imagine having dinner with you guys every night. That would just be hilarious.
It's super fun. It's just we're so close that obviously we know David Spade.
Yeah.
David's one of my best friends. They're like brothers to me. So it's funny because it's just we do have an amazing time. Like we're always laughing, but we still fight.
Yeah.
Like brothers. Like we still get mad at each other and are like, hey man, fuck you. No, fuck you. There's still that element to it.
Yeah, but that high school college mentality is never going to go away. That's what keeps you brothers. I'll tell you a real funny, not funny, but a cool story about Adam. He came to the UFC. I don't know if you were there with him that night. And I walked up to him, to say hi and everything. And I said, Adam, I gotta ask you. You always have these icons. You have a tendency to have these icons in your movies, like Bob Barker and David Hasselhoff.
Right.
I said, why don't you think about putting my brother Michael? I'm Michael's manager, so obviously I'm always working. But
that's cool.
I said, why don't you put Michael Buffer in one of your movies? He goes, oh, that's a good idea. And that was it.
And he puts him in the movie. 2
weeks later, I get a phone call. You Don't Mess with the Zohan. It wasn't come try out because we want Michael to co-star in the movie as the guy he co-starred in. Can he come in and do a read, with the crew? And that was it. 2 weeks after I said that to him.
It's insane.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, the family vibe that he said, the few times I've been on set to visit Nick or whatever, it's just he created a really home environment at work. Everyone's just seems really happy. They've been there forever, and he's taking care of everyone.
But he works on the fly like that. Like I did that movie, Just Go With It, with me and him and Jennifer Aniston. And I remember Sandler called me. I was at a fucking restaurant, and he goes, "Hey, what's up, man? What are you doing?" I go, "I'm eating. What's going on?" He goes, "Can you do a German accent?" I go, "Maybe like this. I don't know. It took like this." And he goes, "Yep, good." And then I go, "Okay, what the fuck?" He goes, "I'll call you later." And then a week later, he goes, "Yeah, we're doing this movie." And he's like, "I got you like the co-lead with me and Jennifer Aniston." And
really?
It was just, and I played like a guy who pretended to be German and shit, but it was just that fast. He just called me really quick. "Hey, can you do the voice?" "Okay, yep, perfect."
Well, there's certain directors and producers like Adam, and one of the guys that's similar to him but does more serious films is Clint Eastwood. When I say that, it's because if you look at all of Clint Eastwood's films, he uses the same crew. A lot of the same actors. Does an incredible job every time he does a movie.
Yeah.
He's guaranteed, like Adam, he knows who has to come in. You guys are actors. You can play different roles. Doesn't matter if you're in the last film or not. That's loyalty, that's friendship, and that's good business, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
But it's also everybody delivers, too. So it's
Yeah.
not like he's not just handing out shit where it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, he has a sixth sense where, you know, like I produce a lot of his movies too, and he'll be like, "What about so and so for this role?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. That seems kind of weird." And then the person will just come in and fucking nail it, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, just somebody totally random.
So when you're filming, how many episodes does Comedy Central pick up on typical Rick?
6.
So you do 6, and then how does the seasons work on that? In other words, you do the 6, it runs. Are there 2 seasons a year, 3 seasons a year?
It's like Netflix where it just comes out at once and you could watch all of them. They're only about 7 minutes in length each episode, so you're going to get a 42-minute season. You know, you can
Really,
binge,
7?
you could binge watch.
No,
them.
this season's like 10 to 12.
Oh, this won't be
Okay,
longer,
okay.
but the first season, I'd say average 7-8 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
They're quick, and just leaves you wanting more, and you can just fly through them really quick.
Yeah, these are like really easy.
Oh, this is going to be great to watch today when I'm
Yeah.
playing. I
Oh, yeah,
love
you can,
this. Yeah.
you can pop right through it.
So, for our audience, because we talk a lot on the show about the success factor, what it takes to be an entrepreneur, which obviously you guys are creating the show. I mean, no doubt about it. The moment you thought about the concept for the show to take it to sell it, take me through calendar-wise. You did it with this. How long did it take to get here to when you were filming?
God, I would say from from pitch to execution, it was probably
8 months.
8 months, yeah.
About that.
That's still pretty quick.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Well, he's like a mini Sandler. He did the same thing. He just made it happen. He just has the
Right.
ability and the connections to think of an idea and make it happen, and just put me in it. And I was just stoked that he thought of me because we've only shot a few things together, nothing on this scale before, so it's fun. And our friend Nick Goosen, who's directing it, has done so much stuff with us. We always do YouTube videos, and so it's just same thing, that little family vibe. We all know each other. We all fight like brothers and get along and make fun of each other and all that shit.
But yeah, I walked into Comedy Central and they bought it in the room, and then I just started writing it.
And then when you're producing Adam Sandler's films, I mean, I know what it takes to be a producer, but how much work is involved in that when you're producing one of his films? What is your
It's a
exact
lot.
role?
I mean, it depends upon the, it's a lot. I mean, it's you're on set every second, so it's 12 to 13 hour days, and it's just, I'm a creative producer, so like I'm doing all the punch up, so I'm like helping with the, making this scenes better and making everything tighter, and giving Adam notes and giving him, other actors too, and just telling people like, oh no, try it this way, do it this way. Oh, Adam, don't forget this. Oh yeah, you know what I mean, like that type of thing. But it's like it's nonstop.
Right.
It's intense.
Well, I mean, your career's nonstop when you think about it. I mean, I work in my sports and entertainment career. I base everything on passion. I try to throw it all on the floor, whether I'm announcing or I'm doing a TV show or a movie. I like to have fun and do what I do. You guys, the four of you, Adam has had tremendous success as an actor, as a producer. You've had what I consider tremendous success as an actor, and of course, as you're talking about, as a producer. Yet all you guys, and David Spade, and Rob Schneider, and all you guys are willing to go out on the road and get dirty again like you did in the early years as you continue to enjoy. Is this because of the passion you have for your career? Is it a combination of the passion mixed with, I need to do this to stay sharp and to be raw? I mean, what is the basic emphasis
Money.
behind it? There we go. Came out.
Money. lot of money.
A lot of money.
No, I've been a stand-up for 21 years, and it's at the core root of myself, like that's who I am. You know what I mean? My stand-up is who I am, and so my fan base is so loyal and awesome. So, but it's exhausting. Like I'm 40 years old now, so when you run around the country at 23 years old, it's way different. So now, the older you get, like I tour with Sandler, and then I tour on my own, and then I shoot this show, and then I start another movie in the summer, and it gets exhausting. It does catch up to you. I've talked to other comics, and like the older we get, the more we talk about like just getting on multiple planes and going through baggage claim and going for like
That's the tough part. People ask me what's the hardest part. I tell them the travel.
Yeah,
the travel, and it's just like and Simon knows too. He tours his Dirt Nasty, and it's just like the different time zones and the altitudes, and it just like, it's so fucking intense. It's just like really, I just remember touring, like I toured for like 3 months straight. And I remember I had no idea where the fuck I was at certain points.
I still get that.
There was a movie before called If It's Tuesday, This Must Be Belgium. And that's what I say to myself, because sometimes I wake up in a hotel room and I'm like, where the F am I?
Yeah.
I mean, it's happened. I'm going to be 60 in May. And I notice that even that gets a little more as I get older, but I just love what I do so much, so I get through it. And we celebrate something together. You're 21 years in comedy?
Yeah.
Last week I was 21 years in the Octagon.
No way.
Yeah, my 21-year anniversary.
Fuck yeah.
Isn't that long? That's crazy.
Congrats,
It's
buddy.
crazy.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you very much. Dirt Nasty.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah, it's an alter ego rap character that I created, and it ends up being a comedy music show, kind of like what Sandler does. He'll do a song and do some jokes, and it's definitely very fun vibe that I bring out. I always tell people, you don't have to like my music, just come to the show because you'll have a good time.
Right.
I bring people from the audience on stage. I do a lot of improving, and just it's
hilarious.
It's fun. It's just fun. I don't take myself too seriously. I'm not trying to. All my songs are definitely comedic based, so it ends up becoming a fun night. It's not. I bring out a fun crowd of degenerates who I love.
That's honest.
Yeah,
It's
true.
There's some loose cannons that come out.
I just did Portland the other night, which for some reason the Pacific Northwest is just where I sell out shows back to back and just do really well. And man, they just come out by the hundreds and are just wasted and just.
It's Portland, baby. There's herb in the air.
Man,
God, I have
crazy.
Portland coming up soon.
It's a fun city.
But yeah, my fan base too. It's like last time I toured, I had to go on Twitter and I had to tell people like chill out, because people would come and like they'd get so fucking wild and shit faced.
That's because of you though. They're wanting to be you. They're wanting to get into character.
But they
wanna
think
go
like
crazy.
I don't party that hard. Like I don't like, I drink, but I drink casually, and like I don't do any drugs. But people think that it's like this crazy fuck tornado show, and like there was fist fights. People were vomiting. I mean, it gets like crazy. Like,
it's nuts.
And the best was, I would do theaters, but then I would do performance art centers. So I was doing places where they would have like The Lion King and like Wicked and like these musicals, and then my show would come in, and these like ushers were just like old ladies that like weren't ready for my fucking tornado fans coming in and just raging. And I remember my tour manager was just like, yeah, like 3 people puked in the bathroom, like somebody fucking fell down the stairs. There was a fist fight. I was just like...
Well, you have a rider in your contract, right? You don't have to break up fist fights and you don't have to clean up the toilets. So you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good. But it was just like, oh my God.
It's like we created that for ourselves. Like you had I think one of your albums was called Party Time or something.
It was
just
called
opening the door for the party.
I opened
did
the
it.
big door.
Yeah, you did.
We both
did. Which is fine. It's fun. But like you said, when you get older in your 40s, like it's enough to be traveling and sleeping in hotels and night in and night out. They're all waiting for you to come party with you. Like I got to run out the back door. I don't know about you, but I have to avoid the interaction with my fans because they have been waiting for me for 6 months to party with them, and they don't understand that I got to go do 4 more shows the next 4 nights in a row, and it's just physically not possible.
I leave right away, and it's like I don't drink when I work. Whenever I'm filming or anything, like I just did shows in Phoenix, and I would go out like to go eat, and I would have to have like security with me because people would fucking come up and like give me shots and stuff, and I'm like, I don't do shots anyway. And I was just like, no. And I remember one guy walked up to me with a shot of Jägermeister, and he goes, here, I got this for you. And I go, oh man, I don't do shots. I'm not drinking right now. I'm sober. And he goes, this is the saddest day of my life. He goes, all I've ever wanted was to meet you and do a shot. And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. And he was just like, this is horrifying.
A few comments on that after show. I mean, even in respect to what I do, I sometimes take the back ways to get around, and but I remember one thing I always remember is never forget where you came from, because I'm sure like you guys too, you had experiences in your early career walking through the comedy shops or film sets or cities, whatever, and nobody said a word. It was like crickets.
Right.
And now they recognize you, and we all should be thankful for that,
Totally.
as I know you are.
No, it's a good problem to have.
But perception is reality with fans. But it's when they go against man law and they follow me in the bathroom, or they're taking pictures of me, or that's just wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get that if the amount of people that come out.
The
there's
amount of
gonna
people,
be a couple of guys that could fuck up the night for you.
It's just the way it is.
No, I mean, like, yeah, and I'm 100% appreciative, and I love my fans, and I'm so happy to be where I am. But it's funny because Sandler told me, he was like, when I was 26, I just started working with him, and we started filming Grandma's Boy, and Adam goes, "Do you want to be famous?" And I said, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome." And he goes, "Just so you know, once you are, you can never go back."
He's right.
And I was like, I didn't really understand it at the time. And he was like, yeah, he goes, you can't, like, once the train takes off, you're fucking on the train for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
And it's a trip, dude. It's like, all the time, 24/7.
Well, especially when you're creating a fan base like you both are, I try to do myself, is create an organic fan base. It's happening naturally, and those are your fans forever.
Yeah,
because they're
totally.
going to love what you do.
Yeah, and I'm completely genuine, like, when I do my stand-up, and I'm very self-effacing, I've cultivated an amazing fan base, but, yeah, it's just like, it's getting better that I'm older because the crowd is getting older, too. Like, 10 years ago, it was way more intense with, like, people partying and, like, ripping blow and shit. But, like, now it's like people are like in their 40s like me, so it's like it's a little easier.
But I do recommend not taking any drinks from anybody, because I've avoided being roofied twice.
Right.
And I only say that because one time I was suspicious of one. The other time, a friend of mine, a female, actually took the drink that was given to me and wound up going over the edge, and it was obvious that it was a roofie, and I've been in experience with that. I got to be really careful in this
I'll
day
never
and age.
take a drink from anybody.
Never take a drink
ever.
from anybody public.
I've been roofied.
If they buy it for you and you're there with them and the bartender brings it in front of you, that's different.
Oh, yeah.
If they walk up to you, don't do it.
No,
Yeah.
never.
It's like Too Short, this famous rapper, told me, he said, I never hang out with my fans because you're never going to win that one. As soon as they light up a joint or have a drink with you, then you're hooked in.
Especially if a picture's taken, you're nailed.
Oh, well, nowadays with the cell phone cameras and everything, totally. But just as a general note, he's like, I make it a rule not to party with my fans because it's a lose-lose. You're not going to win that one. They're going to ask you for your phone number. They're going to ask you, once you're nice and just show them a little bit, people are very aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. And then they start hitting you on Twitter like you're your best friend. With all respect, we're not. We're acquaintances. We met. Sorry, I get, like you guys have thousands, 100,000 fans. You can't answer every tweet out there.
No.
Right.
Let me ask you a little thing about the business again. Adam, the blockbuster hits he's had, his last couple films have gone to Netflix. Some people might think that that's less. It's really not, because the whole Netflix and everything is becoming such a big industry in itself to release product on. So is the money and the financials in Netflix and the exposure similar to releasing a film in theaters? Is this a choice?
Yeah, I thought it was genius on his part, because I know, like, working with him so long in the studio system, it was just so much anxiety for, like, the opening weekend and box office, and he would just get so stressed, and it was like doing press and talk shows and, trying to get it out there so, the movie opens, and, it was just so much stress on him. And it was like the Netflix deal was so ahead of its time, and he was just like, the movie's out there right away. He doesn't have to do a ton of press, and he has complete creative freedom. So, like, Netflix is amazing in the sense where, like, they don't inundate us with notes. They don't go like, well, I don't know if this is funny. Like, the studio system, it was just like fucking insane of just executives, like, just trying to justify their jobs and being like, yeah, I don't know, does this scene work? I don't know if this works. And we were like, yeah, it fucking works.
Yeah, but
we've been doing comedy for 50 years between us.
In Hollywood, I've had this adage for years. They don't know what works until it works. And I'll give you an example. I've been on the show before. In the 60s, in the 50s they made a bunch of space movies. In the 60s they stopped making space movies. Then a film called Star Wars got released and did $1 billion in business, and suddenly every studio's like, hey, let's make a space movie.
Never heard of it. Is that a movie?
Yeah, never heard of it, exactly. Hollywood, they think they know what works. They don't know what works until it works. And that's where people like you that want to take the leap, and you, Simon, you take the leap to make something happen and say, hey, now I'm a pioneer. Now I created something.
Right.
You know. So
But it's funny, like I remember Mike Myers when he wrote Austin Powers, and he gave the script to the studio, and they were like, I don't understand. So you say, yeah, baby, and he was like, yeah, my character says, yeah, baby, and they're like, that's not that funny, and he goes, no, you don't understand. It's like, yeah, like it's a catchphrase, you know,
Right.
and they like just didn't, and they tried to kill it. And that's what I heard. And fucking, it was like that was his fucking catchphrase.
That's the age-old thing, though. Is you get the suits who want to be creative, and they're all operating out of fear because everyone's getting fired. So you get this weird battle between the suits creatively and the artists. And that's why Typical Rick's great, because they basically are like, here, just go make it, you know. And for the most part, they really did just let us do our thing. It didn't
do you
feel
have
like they were
100% control?
I mean, pretty much. 99.
That's rare. I mean, and Nick, they just trust Nick at this point, so like, do whatever you got to do. And just,
what about ratings? What if it gets a little explicit, nudity wise, word wise, whatever? I mean, do you guys like over the edge?
The thing about it being streaming is that we have a lot of freedom. So like that's one reason why I wanted to do it streaming and not on air, is that we can swear, we can fucking do anything.
Smoke weed.
We can smoke weed and fucking do blow and whatever the fuck. Like,
Wait, for everybody listening, Nick does not do drugs. He's just acting.
The characters.
The characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have full creative freedom. I mean, yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
That's awesome. Simon, let me ask you, what was it like to be famous pre-internet as opposed to being famous post-internet?
Yeah, it's a different world. You know, it's I've been fortunate because I've somewhat reinvented myself over the years by staying on social media and looking at it like a job. And I'm working with Weed Maps right now, which is just this huge company.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
Yelp for marijuana dispensaries. And, you know, all throughout the years, like I did Vine when it first came out and had like over 2 million followers on there. And people still come up to me like, you're the Vine guy. Like you got to do that stuff to just stay with the younger audience. It's just smart to
stay relevant,
because everyone's just on their phone all day at the end of the day. And, you know, so that's my job to do that. So I try to make it my job, like to post some funny comedy content or just to do something to just keep people entertained. And then the money sort of comes later. You just do it to do it. And it's fun to exercise that instrument and tool and just stay sharp. And it's really fun also because, like, if I think of an idea, I can literally shoot it, edit it, do it all myself, and put it up, and it's such a quick turnaround compared to doing a movie or something. You really just get hundreds of thousands of people to have a laugh, and you're just doing it all yourself, and it just takes a little time, and it's such a quick fix.
Right.
I love it.
But it is exhausting now. It's like I find myself on my phone just nonstop,
so addictive.
Instagramming, Facebooking, tweeting, just everything, and it's like...
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And I remember I lost my phone last year, and I just didn't buy a new one for like a week. And so I was just like, I lost it, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get a new phone. And it was so nice not to have a phone.
Right?
It's like you're on vacation.
Yeah, it literally was. It was like I was so relaxed and like not just constantly
It's so
fucking texting and like
It's a catch-22 curse, but you know it's an operational necessity to today's business, especially in
have to
entertainment
do
and
it.
sports. You have to do it.
You got to do it.
Yeah, and
It's
also
a
whenever you get
necessary
hired,
evil.
when you get hired for a job, whether it's the studio or Comedy Central, one of the first things they're going to look at is how much social media
Absolutely.
you guys have. To
yeah,
make
that's
this work.
a big factor.
And I'll be honest, like I'll promote my own shows when I go on tour, and me just posting one Instagram post or a tweet will fill up the crowd a lot more than the local promoter could do. So it's become your job
Right.
to do that because it does help, and then you make more money and more people have a good time.
Are you monetizing your social media at all?
Yeah,
you guys?
yeah, a little bit. A little bit with Weed Maps and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think
in the past.
I did a commercial for Weed Maps a little while ago. That's pretty interesting.
They're cool
app.
people. They're just good people.
Listen, that's the. It's not that it's the future, but it's like there's wild, wild west days in industry. The internet became wild, wild west. What I mean by that, there's so much room to make money.
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
And now with the whole weed industry, whether you smoke it or not, and we promote the legalization of marijuana, and I'm big for it because of strictly for medicinal purposes that people need it for. It provides so much help to so many people, aside from the recreational side, which is your ability to do that whatever you want as an adult. I have no problem with any of that. I just think it should be legalized nationwide, state by state, equally, and be done. And it's going to happen at some point, just like the UFC eventually is going to get legalized in every state at some point. It was a 23-year trek to get there. 23 year 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 if you're going to get in that industry now, like you're doing, now's the time to get into it intelligently and prepare for when there's so much money to be made. You know,
so much money.
So much money.
Good Lord.
Speaking of money, are you guys during the Super Bowl? Were you for the Falcons or were you for the Pats?
I was rooting for the Falcons just for the underdog, but
I was rooting for the Falcons, but I mean, I'm a big Tom Brady fan, so like I was stoked, and I'm friends with Gronk, and so I was happy for them.
How painful was it for him to sit on the sidelines and watch that game and not be in it? Jeez.
Yeah,
actually,
but I mean
Atlanta
that was
favored, right? Atlanta was favored, so they weren't the underdog. I think Atlanta was favored.
No, the Pats were favored by 3.
By 3.
Okay.
Trust me, I had a major swing on this game. Everybody thought at my party I was losing, and then I came out, with a huge win at the end. I had agina. I think I went up and down heartbeat about 50 million times.
What a game, though.
The greatest Super Bowl ever.
That really
it
might
was,
have been.
it was unreal.
It actually wasn't the greatest Super Bowl ever. In many people's minds, it was one of the greatest sporting events ever.
That was crazy.
Ever.
Overtime, the whole thing. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
How about the halftime?
He passed Montana, I think, is the best.
Oh, there's no question, statistic-wise, no question.
Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, too. He's a role model. I mean, the guy's like... Guys go home. He goes home to Giselle Boujon and makes $25 million or more than he does every year. Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about power.
I just want to watch them fuck. Just nonstop. I could just constantly watch.
You think it would sell more than Paris's video, Simon?
Yeah, I'm way more interested in that one.
You know about his jersey? How it got stolen?
Yeah.
Now they say the jersey's worth $500,000. But ask yourself this question: where the f do you sell that jersey?
Yeah.
And the guy that buys it, what can he do with that, or she do with that jersey?
I'll buy it and fucking jerk off on it.
That's about your only choice. You better get $500,000 worth of baby batter out of that one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Fuck.
All right, I'm going to go over a couple of interesting stories here, and then I know you guys got to go on to more riches and success. So basically, you guys heard of the Twinkie Defense? There was a police officer in Florida years ago.
Yeah, I have heard of that.
And he claimed that the reason he did what he did was because the sugar in the Twinkies affected him. Okay. Well, this guy here, a Florida man, again, accused of making $7 billion in fraudulent fraud transfers, told the court he stole the money because Jesus wanted him to be wealthy.
Which is true.
Yeah, probably true. Probably, depending on your religion, probably true. So they arrested him. And he allegedly set up wire transfers from in December and claimed to be a large nationally renowned financial institution. He was unemployed, right? So he alleged a scheme by doing, back routing number, did all this thing, but $7 billion. Do you think his defense is going to work? The Jesus defense? Jesus, by the way, Jesus was unavailable for comment. Jesus could not make a comment.
He was unavailable?
Yeah, he was unavailable.
I'll text him now and see.
Well, that's... Florida's crazy. And is it a judge and jury?
$7 billion. That's more than I make in a year.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Jesus.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't think his defense is going to work. I mean,
unless you just have a real Bible thumping jury and judge. But yeah, stranger things have happened.
That is Florida, though.
Florida's a crazy state.
Florida's just rogue.
It is the craziest place in the world.
Where do you think the hottest girls in the United States are? Do you think it's Los Angeles or Miami?
I think per square block, Miami. I think they're spread out more in L.A., and every hot girl from every high school moves to L.A. to make it, so they're always coming in. But my personal taste is I like Latinas with big booties, and man, that's it, bro. It's Miami per square block. It's just, it's overwhelming.
It's butterskin and dark hair.
It's Vegas on the beach. It's just crazy.
And where are the hottest guys?
Montreal.
Ooh.
But Montreal's got beautiful women, too.
Montreal doesn't only have beautiful women. They have beautiful women without attitude.
Yeah, it's real.
It's incredible.
Canada's amazing.
I've never met a rude Canadian. I've met a lot of inebriated ones, but I've never really met a rude Canadian.
So nice.
No, they're awesome.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Crazy.
It's incredible.
It was weird. I just did some shows in Vancouver, and it's just like the attitude was just so different. It was so laid back, and it was so polite, and it was like, I don't know.
They have a utopian society up there. It's really, they figured it out. Just their healthcare and just everything, just their mentality. It's a trip. I've lived up there a lot over the years and doing movies and stuff, and I just love it up there.
Well, is Vancouver still a hot spot for filming?
Not as much, but it is, yeah.
Because I remember it was for quite a while.
They moved
I'm
back
filming
down
in the summer there.
Yeah, it used to be a
Great
lot
town.
more, but it's still
Great town.
Now it's moved a lot to the south, like Georgia and Louisiana. They just get a good rate, and they want to keep it in the States more, but it's still up there.
People still fuck with the couve, though.
You talk
the
about
what?
The couve. That's what I call Vancouver.
Oh, the coup.
The coup. You talk about where the pretty girls are. If you suffer from a little bit of, or pleasurably suffer from a little bit of Asian fever, you're going to have a lot of fun in Vancouver.
I don't suffer from that.
Very diverse there.
I mean, it's just
you're strictly Latino.
More so, yeah. I don't know. I haven't.
You like that Enfuego personality? Because you know there's a lot of fire going on there.
I know, man. It's crazy.
I'm tired of fucking. I'm so over it. I'm just like so old. I jerked off twice yesterday. And
was it more pleasurable?
Bored with myself and disappointed and just,
that's just how it goes.
Maybe you need some more. You need some more Spank Bank material. Maybe you've kind of worn out.
I know. Maybe I need to just open up my fucking brain and just start fucking dudes.
It's so fucked.
Well, it's you know, Nick, Nick's got me at a loss for words right now, TJ. When does that happen? When does that happen?
First time in 8 years.
Yeah. I'm actually at a loss for words.
Time.
Yeah, it's time to not be able to say anything. What the heck's going on here?
I have that effect on people.
That's a good effect.
You're hot and bothered.
Hot and bothered. By the way, last week we talked about the Adolf Hitler phone that's being sold, right? An auction.
What do you mean?
Adolf Hitler's phone. The red phone, literally like a movie, the red phone on his desk, which he used and put many, many millions of people, to death, and, all that horrific stuff that he did, the orders he gave. They found this phone, right? And the buyer, who stayed secret, they auctioned it off. Bidding started at $100,000. Soviet soldiers gave it to a British officer after the war as a souvenir, after Germany surrendered. And then it was sold once, and it just sold again. How much do you think it sold for? Just a phone.
$320,000 US.
$2 million.
A little over. $243,000, which is still a lot of money.
Oh,
yeah, that phone better suck your dick for that.
200 collectibles
what
from
apps
World War.
were on it?
Yeah.
Collectibles from World War II are like some of the highest priced collectibles around. It's crazy. It's
Was
like,
he on Tinder?
I don't know. Is that where you're going now? Is that your next step? Since you've got to figure out a new way to get your pleasure.
No. No, I can't.
I've never done the Tinder thing.
I can't have sex with strangers.
Yeah, that's another thing about being famous, quote unquote, is that you gotta assume the worst in people and that people are out to get something from you. By
Sorry, but true.
But it's true, and it's almost like it sounds terrible to make this complaint, but it's like going fishing and the fish just jump in the boat. Like you actually want the hunt as a man. You want that. It's to the point now where I want a girl. It's so backwards that has no idea who I am and hates who Dirt Nasty would be. Not some girls like I love Dirt Nasty. I'm like, you're an awful human being. Mm-hmm. And I don't want you in my bed or near me or at a dinner. So
and
it
also
becomes
just waking up next to a stranger is just the fucking worst.
Oh my God!
It's like just
their
fucking
feet
come.
look like a falcon.
You know how you can fix that, though?
Murder.
Uber. Just ask them.
Uber's a lifesaver.
Uber's a lifesaver.
Uber is a fucking.
Fuck the Uber driver?
No. It's real. It's real simple. Listen. You don't have to drive to see me. I'm going to send you an Uber. You come over.
Yeah, it's worth the $40.
By the way, I got an early start. I got an early call in the morning. And you've had your fun. Everything's cool. And say, honey, I got to get some sleep. I'm going to do something special. Have the Uber pick you up and take you home because I don't want you to have to get up early with me.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Uber's.
Does that work, Ian?
Uber is great.
Yep. It can work.
Uber changed.
Uber is
man.
the shit.
Or you can be like Charlie Sheen and pay him to leave.
I love that quote.
Isn't that a great quote?
Yeah, it's very.
Yep, there's so many different scenarios. But getting back to what you said, and I experienced this too because I've even commented on the show that my dating life has actually. I believe me, don't cry for me. I have a great time. I'm still single, but at the same time,
good for you.
It's less. Well, stay single. Your pockets will jingle. But it's stay
with your dick.
But you got to be careful.
Oh man,
women are not women. I mean, girls, women, whatever the category they fall into. There are females. And I'm assuming maybe some males, too, that want to get you in a fist fight. But there are people on a mission today to make money easy. And we cover this like in the lawsuits we go through on the show. Some of these lawsuits that come up, people trying to rip people off, celebrities or otherwise.
Yeah.
You're a target. You're just a target.
target.
You can't. You got to assume the worst in people, which sucks,
I don't go to strip clubs.
Yeah, I don't want to pay some girl's cell phone bill.
No, I'm not fucking.
I wake up with a boner for free. I don't want to pay for one.
Well, you know what? At least you're still waking up.
I
with
know
one.
it's crazy, man.
So be happy about that.
42. I feel 23. I'm so fucking
40.
horny.
You still waking up with one, Nick?
Yeah, I fucking jerked off twice yesterday.
I suffer from POD.
Fucking miserable.
I suffer from POD, post-orgasm disgust. As soon as I'm done, it's like, when you on Pornhub and you rub one out, you can just hit end and you're like, what was I thinking? It's disgusting. But a minute ago, you're all into it, and that applies to humans as well. It's very rare that after you're finished having sex, you really want to hang out with them, and it's just,
I don't even fucking cum anymore. It just comes out like fucking tired glue.
it falls out.
No,
like
you ever
ghost
Falls
dick.
out of your fucking dick. And
You ever see the old cartoon, with the volcano and it's going like this, and all of a sudden it erupts and it goes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Is that what is going on?
literally.
Whoa, that's
It just
age.
dribbles out like a fucking sad.
Yeah, it's a
I think
sad
Snowman.
ghost. It's a
Ian, I think we need
fucking-
some TRT therapy over here for Nick Swardson. What do you think?
Hey, I've lost my fucking balls too. I'm in a relationship, so I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me.
It's a different story. Folks, we're talking to the
Love, so fucking don't give me any answers.
Ian McCall, my friends. We have Ian McCall in studio. Ian, I just got a segue here for a second, and I even text TJ. I was so sad and upset when you didn't come out for your last fight. I even told TJ at the show before, I go,
What
I am
happened?
praying and praying and praying that Ian's fight's going to happen. Four times? 5 times in a row his fights have been called
You're a
off.
fun fighter to watch.
Really?
I did your podcast. I did his podcast a couple years back with your boy.
Hospital twice the last 2 times.
Really?
I just
You're fun to watch, man.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Dude,
Yeah. Stay strong, Ian. It's, you're a warrior, man. There's no question. Guys, I really love having you on the show. Is there anything else you want to promote? We got podcasting. You got any websites? Anything? Let them know.
We're good. I'll just say at Nick Swardson on Twitter and at Real Nick Swardson on Instagram. Check out, come to a live show.
Typical Rick.
And
see
Typical
me.
Rick.
I'm at Simon Rex 415 on Instagram and Simon Rex on Twitter.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
again, my offering to you, because I do the special recordings from
I love
BruceBuffer.com,
that. That's so
is
nice.
there for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's
can I,
really cool.
Can I make one more?
Yeah.
Because Russell Peters is a good friend of mine. I've opened up for
I know
him.
Russell.
He's funny as heck. I've opened up for him at the Comedy Store. When you're at the Comedy Store, because I used to live at the Comedy Store. I swear to God, I was my
It's
Friday
the best
nights.
place to be.
It's the best date.
Therapy. Oh my God, it's a great
wanna,
date.
If
And
you
it-
want to get lucky at the end of the date, let the comedians do the work.
Totally.
It's incredible.
Man, you're so
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. You're so right.
So right. It's awesome.
You just got to sit back and laugh and have a drink.
Exactly.
Just
Laugh,
Exactly.
drink, and then you laugh into their asshole.
Yeah, just laugh on their tits.
There's one thing women love more than anything else, and I challenge anybody to argue with me on this. It's called a sense of humor.
Oh, man.
They love to laugh.
Man.
Yeah, for
Make
sure.
them laugh, like the old Singing in the Rain. Make 'em
Totally.
laugh, make 'em laugh.
Totally.
Yeah,
Make them laugh.
exactly. Now, when you're next up, stand up. Either way, you guys together, hit me up.
I'll
I'm in
text
town.
you. Yeah.
I want to see the show, and then if you like me to, I'll come out and give you the balance at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, 100% I would do
Yeah,
that.
totally
Awesome.
do it.
Fuck
This
yeah.
this is awesome.
Thank you.
I thank you so much for being on the show. Simon, all the best to
Thank you so much.
Sincerely,
Appreciate
thank you.
it. Thank you,
you
brother.
so much.
Appreciate it. You're a good
Nick,
man.
Bruce, great to see you. I love you, bud.
Love you too, brother.
You're the man.
Sincerely.
Yes. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, everybody, check us all out next week. We'll be back with another exciting show of It's Time Radio. Before then, now and forever, be respectful to everybody around you. Be a role model to your sphere of influence. Be honest. Be strong. Do not lie. Tell it the way it is. Life is karmic. It all comes back to you. Set your goals. Write them down. Be prepared to win, because life is about winning. And why? It's time to win. That's what we talk about on It's Time Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. Buffer out.
The preceding podcast was a TJ DeSantis production. Comments, questions, and inquiries can be directed to DeSantisProd@gmail.com.